Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. General Hospital recap, Friday, May 24. Chase gets rid of Finn's Bourbon, Cody's awful news for Tracy. General Hospital, spoilers recap for Friday, May 24, reveals that Alexis Davis, Nancy Lee Grahn, made her final statement to the panel at the hearing in Albany. Alexis argued that her disbarment had been about Fergus Byrne, Lane Davies, and Iva Jerome's, Maura West, personal vendettas instead of the law. Fergus made his own final statement and dredged up Alexis' past in the process. Since Alexis had destroyed his family, Fergus vowed to make sure she never destroyed anyone else's. Since Alexis' perjury led to the demise of both Fergus brothers, he insisted that her disbarment shouldn't be undone. The panel revealed that they'd make their decision within 30 days and adjourned, so Diane Miller, Carolyn Hennessy, told Fergus he should be ashamed of himself before he headed for the exit. In the stables, Cody Vell, Josh Kelly, realized Tracy Quartermain, Jane Elliott, hadn't heard the news about Gregory Harrison, passing away, so he offered updates and gave her some comfort. Tracy headed to GH and expressed condolences to Elizabeth Baldwin, Rebecca Herbst, before joining Stella Henry, Vernie Watson, in the break room. If there were medical bills, official notifications, or anything else Tracy could handle with her hands or checkbook, she wanted to take care of it. Stella agreed to pass any info along and keep Tracy's name quiet since that's what she wanted. Back with Elizabeth, Portia Robinson, Brooke Kerr, could tell Liz needed to get something off her chest, but Liz was hesitant since Portia was the co-chief of staff. Nevertheless, Portia reminded Elizabeth of their friendship, so Liz eventually confessed that Hamilton Finn, Michael Easton, was drinking this morning. Portia looked unsettled, so Elizabeth hoped she hadn't made a mistake by confiding in her. Liz suggested Finn's loss was fresh and that he'd get back on track, so Portia agreed it was probably a one-time thing despite looking concerned once she was alone. At Bobby's, Violet Finn, Jaffiel Love, feared she might forget Gregory now that he was gone, but Brooklyn Quartermain, Amanda Seton, assured her that wouldn't happen. T.J. Ashford, Taj Bello, also took Molly Lansing Davis, Kristen Vaganos, to Bobby's for lunch, so they discussed Alexis potentially being a lawyer again. Molly laughed over the nightmare scenario of potentially facing off with her mother in the courtroom. Talk turned to Christina Corinthos Davis, Kate Mancy, so TJ was apologetic for making things awkward in her relationship with Molly. Both Molly and TJ acknowledged that they'd been too overbearing with their surrogate due to Molly's personal connection to Christina. At Finn's apartment, he felt bad for how he handled things with Elizabeth and worried about disappointing Gregory by throwing away his sobriety. Harrison Chase, Josh Swickard, gave Finn a pep talk and dumped the bourbon once Finn asked him to. After Brooklyn brought Violet home, Finn made her a grilled cheese and asked for a hug. Once Brooklyn offered to help Finn with whatever he needed, Finn admitted that he needed a meeting. General Hospital spoilers say Finn's alcohol struggles may be far from over, so stick with us for more predictions on the trouble ahead. At General Hospital on Friday, May 24, the drama was as thick as ever, with secrets bubbling to the surface and unexpected revelations shaking up Port Charles. The day started with Harrison Chase's determination to help his brother, Hamilton Finn, in his struggle against addiction. Finn, who had been hiding his bourbon bottles in every conceivable corner of his apartment, woke up to find Chase standing over him with a determined look. "Morning," Chase said, his voice firm but compassionate. Finn rubbed his eyes and groaned, realizing his little brother was about to stage an intervention. "Chase, not today," Finn protested, but Chase wasn't having it. He began rummaging through the apartment, finding bottle after bottle of bourbon. Finn watched in horror as Chase dumped them all down the sink. "You can't keep doing this, Finn," Chase said. "You've got Violet to think about. You've got yourself to think about." Finn, still groggy from the previous night's indulgence, felt a mix of shame and gratitude. He knew Chase was right, but breaking the cycle seemed almost impossible. "I know you're trying to help, but it's not that simple," Finn replied. Chase looked at his brother, his eyes softening. "I know it's not, but I'm here. We can do this together." Meanwhile, at the Quartermaine mansion, Tracy Quartermaine was in for a shock of her own. Cody Bell had been trying to reach her all morning, and when they finally connected, the news he brought was anything but pleasant. Tracy, ever the sharp-witted matriarch, noticed the grim expression on Cody's face as soon as he walked in. "Spit it out, Cody." "I don't have all day," she snapped, her tone a mix of impatience and concern. Cody took a deep breath. "Tracy, it's about the company. There's been a massive loss in one of the overseas investments. It's worse than we thought." Tracy's face paled as Cody handed her the financial reports. She scanned the documents, her eyes narrowing. "How could this happen? I trusted you to keep an eye on these things." Cody felt a pang of guilt. "I know, and I did. But there were factors we couldn't control. Market crashes, bad timing. It all spiraled so quickly." Tracy slammed the papers down on the table. "This is going to ruin us," she muttered, more to herself than to Cody. She felt a mixture of betrayal and helplessness, emotions she rarely allowed herself to indulge. In another part of town, Maxie Jones was having a day of her own. Still grappling with her feelings for Austin Gatlin Holt, she found herself at a crossroads. The chemistry between them was undeniable, but so were the complications. As she walked into Kelly's diner, she was surprised to see Austin sitting at a corner table, looking lost in thought. "Mind if I join you?" Maxie asked, flashing him a tentative smile. Austin looked up, surprised but pleased. "Of course, Maxie. Have a seat." As they chatted, the conversation inevitably turned to their relationship. "Austin, I can't keep pretending there's nothing between us," Maxie confessed. "But every time I think we can make this work, something gets in the way." Austin reached across the table and took her hand. "I feel the same way, Maxie. But maybe it's time we stop letting the somethings get in the way. Maybe it's time we just try." Their moment was interrupted by Felicia Scorpio, who burst into the diner, her face flushed with excitement. "Maxie, I need to talk to you. It's about the nurses' fall. We've got a crisis." Maxie sighed, pulling her hand away from Austin's. "What now?" she asked, bracing herself for the latest disaster. Felicia quickly filled her in on the mishap with the event's headlining performer, who had just canceled last minute. "We need to find a replacement, and fast," she said. Maxie nodded, her mind already racing with possible solutions. "I'll take care of it, Mom. Don't worry." As Maxie left to handle the crisis, Austin watched her go, a mixture of admiration and frustration in his eyes. He knew their relationship would always be complicated, but he couldn't help but hope they'd find a way to make it work. Back at General Hospital, Portia Robinson was dealing with her own set of challenges. A mysterious illness had struck several patients in the ER, and the staff was stretched thin trying to manage the influx. As Portia reviewed the cases, she couldn't shake the feeling that something bigger was at play. "Elizabeth, we need to isolate these patients," Portia said, turning to Elizabeth Weber. "There's a pattern here, and I don't want to risk an outbreak." Elizabeth nodded, already moving to put the plan into action. "I'll get the isolation rooms ready, and I'll notify the rest of the staff." Portia watched her go, her mind racing with possibilities. She knew she needed to figure this out, and fast. Lives were at stake, and failure wasn't an option.